Hi there, students. Apartheid. Okay, apartheid. Let's see, this is about South Africa in the past. South Africa, I think, from something like 1948 to 1993. It was a system where the different races were kept apart by law. White people were given more political rights. They were given education and other advantages. Um, Apartheid is a system of institutionalized racial segregation, and this apartheid, it was split really into two types of apartheid. Petty apartheid, which dealt with public facilities, social events. So there were facilities for black people, there were facilities for Indian people, there were facilities for coloured people, and there were facilities for white people, and the twain should not meet. And then we also have grand apartheid, which is where people were allowed to live, who people were allowed to marry, the jobs that they were allowed to have. And I think this this started with the prohibition of mixed marriages. It was illegal for black people and white people to marry or to have sex. Okay, and this was apartheid. When Nelson Mandela and the African National Congress came to power, that was the end of apartheid. This was an official policy of racial segregation in the Republic of South Africa. Political, legal, and economic discrimination against non-whites. It's talking about segregation. However, I think in our modern society you could say gender apartheid, and I think in our society there is clearly gender apartheid, that men have more opportunities than women, or cultural apartheid. If you come from certain areas or certain backgrounds, then you have advantages in society. Let's see. This was first used in 1947, and let's see. This comes from Afrikaans, meaning aparthood, apartness. Yeah, apart clearly, and then hide or hood, aparthood. So this was the policy of racial separation in South Africa. They don't. It's interesting that this term is not used more widely. You see, I think, for example, there was apartheid in the United States until the mid 1960s. Clearly, there is gender apartheid in our society at this moment. But apartheid is normally used to talk about this. Talk about the situation in South Africa. South Africa finally began to dismantle apartheid, to end apartheid in, I think, the 1993. Archbishop Tutu said that the South Africans fighting apartheid were supported by people worldwide. He was an important leader in the struggle against apartheid. So, gender apartheid. She is a long time critic of what she calls gender apartheid in her country. Opponents of special schools see these as educational apartheid, and this is keeping groups of people separate, treating them differently, and this results in advantages or different advantages for one group. Okay, so yeah, apartheid. You could even have a linguistic apartheid. that you have to pass a test in Irish before buying a house in a specific area. But apartheid is talking about the setting apart of races, the separating and giving different opportunities to each group. So he lived for many years in South Africa during the dark days of apartheid. This was as part of a protest against South Africa's policy of apartheid. Similar methods helped bring apartheid to an end in South Africa. If children are educated separately, then it's a kind of apartheid. Incredibly, a decade after the end of apartheid, some parts of the system still exist. Surely someone can tackle this sorry case of recycling apartheid. Okay, so it's apartheid, it's different rules for different people. And I think this is something that you will find we find all over the place. There is discrimination. So the apartheid era, the apartheid government, the apartheid laws, the apartheid regime, the apartheid system, the years of apartheid. Apartheid used tribalism as the basis of divide and rule homeland policies. So, apartheid, formality. 5.5, 6 informality, semi-formal conversation, semi-formal writing. Apartheid.